Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking and baking. I always say that all my guests are fascinating, but this one is fire. Mr. Anthony, welcome to the Powerful Podcast. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. It's such a pleasure.
Fantastic. So, I mean, you've done over 4.5 billion dirhams in real estate transactions. That's
Right.
monumental.
So,
That's monumental.
yeah,
You have multiple companies, including a real estate education business. The fascinating
yeah.
story about you is that you sold your iPhone 5 for $80. You splitted that money to be living on $10 per day using the metro and going to work. That was a very tough experience for you. What stories
Oh,
were you
absolutely.
telling yourself? What were you telling yourself in those times?
And listen, in those times, it wasn't like I didn't have any options. It wasn't optional. It was like kind of life. It's forcing you, molding you, teaching you, pushing you. So I wasn't on a survival mode, to be very honest with you. I wasn't thinking. I just wanted to go by day until I made my first deal. And back then, that $80, which is worth 300 dirhams, I didn't divide it into 10 days. I divided it into 30 days.
Into
So
30
actually,
days.
yeah, it was a 1 month. So I could have spent per day 10 dirhams, which is equivalent to $2, $2.50, 60 cents, something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, so half of it would go on transportation and half of it would go on to a cheese sandwich
Yes,
just
that
to keep
particular
you off your
sandwich.
feet. Yeah.
Those
So yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. I wasn't really like I was just on a survival mode, and I closed my first deal after 26 days. It was a rental with a different company of a two-bedroom, which ended up to be giving me somewhere around $600,
Yeah, you
three
got six
thousand
hundred
dirhams.
dollars. Yeah,
So,
that was your
yeah,
first commission.
that was the first commission. That was the start, and the rest is history.
Wow, wow, fascinating story of grass to grace of success. You said when you first started, right? Your
Yeah,
first viewing. Sometimes you have a viewing for 5 p.m. Dubai time, but you leave wherever you are for like 2 p.m. because you have to take the metro. And when you get there,
yeah, brother,
sometimes some
exactly.
of the clients won't even show up. And some of them, when you call, they're like, did I have a booking with you? Those were
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
tough
yeah.
times. How are
They
you
acted
managing
really.
yourself?
Listen, let me give it to you straight. As I told you, I was on a survival mode. I was a total stranger in a total different city where mentality is different. You know, in Dubai, there is such diversity in the city. We have over 200 nationalities. So it took me time to understand how to speak to Asians, how to speak to Europeans, how to speak to Arabs, how to speak to well, anywhere, you know. Then it took me time to understand uh, or to even qualify people upon the phone by
Mm,
knowing who's serious from their question,
that's right.
who's just, who's just having a
That's
regular
right.
phone call. When someone is telling you, yeah, I want to come see it, I learned how to ask for a confirmation and to
Mm,
confirm it multiple times. But before, when you were just there by yourself, alone, everything you're broke, and someone tells you, okay, I want to come see it at 5, you just run to the property because you want to show it, you want to feel that you're active, you want to close it, you want to make
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So back then I didn't know anything, and I felt like this is the way of life of teaching me, of molding me. So I was like, anyway, I was happy, I was learning, but on the contrary side, on the other side, I was like, man, I'm getting so much beating, I need a break, like life or God or just give me a break, that's really tough. Like now I remember it, I laugh at it, I say thank you, I appreciate everything that happened, but while it was going through my life, I wasn't actually really happy with it. It was like a
Yeah.
proper life lesson. Yeah.
Uh, what were you doing to what were you doing to keep yourself sane in those tough times? Were you talking to a mentor? Were you calling your mom? How are you staying grounded at those times
Not
so you don't
really.
lose your
I didn't
mind?
want I didn't want to speak to family and tell them that I'm in a very tough position in life because
Mm,
what I'm gonna get out of it? I'm gonna make them worry about me. And
that's right.
moms or like family always get worried.
Yeah.
Number two, I was actually ashamed to tell them that I reached this position in life. Okay. Number three, I was saying like, okay, now I'm here. There's no other option for me. Like, I don't want to call family or friends and tell them borrow me money
Mm,
or travel somewhere else. Today I'm here. I am in a city where I can see the money, the wealth, the cash. I can see it
mm,
in front of me.
mm,
Now I
mm,
just need to learn how I can position myself in a way where I
mm.
can generate interest of these people,
That's right.
giving them service, providing value, fixing the problems that they have in order for me to conclude business. So I was in the right place, maybe not in the right time, maybe not with the right resources because I wasn't really equipped for Dubai. I tell everyone if you're coming to work to Dubai, at least make sure that you have savings that will cover you for 3 to 6 months when it comes to rentals,
Yes.
to pay your bills, to do all of the stuff. Because once you are in Dubai, you want to be focused on learning and not focused on how
And
I'm gonna
survive. Yeah.
or I'm
Yeah.
supposed to pay my own bills.
Bills. Yes.
So that's why I was in that position. So I used to work a lot. I used to do lots of research. Back then, there was not much influencers, or there was not much, as we say, mentors or someone to go to. I'm telling you, this was in the end of 2014.
14. Yes.
So maybe yeah, it was maybe the rise of YouTube, of Insta, of all of these pages. So there was not much people to follow. Actually, I was just doing research, reading, getting to know what is a square footage because back home we deal with meters, we don't deal with square footage. There's lots of
Mm,
technical words there. How to read a floor plan? What's the difference between 2D and 3D? How I'm
mm,
gonna go into this visualization? If I'm talking to an international client, I need to have all of this or to equip myself with all of this knowledge and all of these applications and portals to facilitate my life, showing them and give credibility. So I was getting myself into all of that, and suddenly I started reading books out of nowhere. And for me, that was the turning point. That was the life-changing event that happened in my life because most of my friends, they were all traveling, having fun, spending money. I didn't have that luxury. I didn't have anything. So back then, for me, traveling was reading a book. So when you read a book, you travel in your mind, you start daydreaming or night dreaming or whatever,
mm,
visualizing
mm,
something else. So yeah, so I filled my time is reading. I said to myself, I'm not going anywhere no matter what happens to me. Either I make it or I don't make it, whatever it is, I'm staying here until I make it. So I was
mm.
really tough on myself. Maybe I was maybe the only one judging myself. Whenever it really went tough, I used to say, yeah, good. You deserve it because all of your life is spending money, you've been partying, you never took anything serious, and today you are here because of you. So either you fix it or you keep trying to fix it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, Ryan Holiday wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way. So the
Correct.
obstacles that you face open the way for you.
Yeah.
And I also like the way
100%.
and I also like the way you interpreted it. You didn't blame anybody. You even started saying to yourself, you are here,
Just me.
you are where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
of you. I mean, that's a self-talk of a winner.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
self-talk. You didn't
Even,
blame you didn't
even,
blame the Lebanese economy. You didn't blame the fact that you came
absolutely
to the
not.
UAE with just 1,000 or less than $1,000. You just blamed yourself and you figured a way out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So that was
And even
powerful.
I said it in my book, Take
Yes.
Charge, I
Take charge,
always
yeah.
say, like, for everyone, it is only your problem. It's not the fault of your country or your parents or anything. You cannot blame the economy. You cannot say, oh, because of this and that. No, it's you are here just because either you wasted your time partying, or you're lazy, or you don't have a proper entourage, or you don't have a proper a circle that pushes you to become a better person. So once you acknowledge that it's only your fault and you are the only one who's responsible for changes, This is where your mind working. End of the day, you're not a tree. You are a human being.
Mm.
Whether you live in Lebanon, whether you live, I don't know, in Afghanistan, wherever you live, it doesn't matter. If you're not happy where you are, pack your stuff and move and go do something of your life rather than you spending all of your life in the same place and saying, oh, I don't have an opportunity because I live in a country where there's no opportunities. Nobody, there's hundreds of countries. You can go wherever you want, make that money and go back and invest it into whatever you want to do with it.
That's
You know,
fantastic.
so yeah, it's something super important for anyone to acknowledge that anything they are going through, it's only their own fault, no one else. And of course, we are talking about financial situation. We're not talking about health. May God help everyone who
Yes,
has
yes,
some physical
yes,
or health problems. But
yes.
if you are a regular, normal human being, you cannot do it or anything. It's just on you.
No, that's very, very powerful. I want to zoom in into what you said about the fact that you were doing a lot of reading. At some point, some of your friends will call you to come to Bali
Yeah,
for a holiday. Even they were in debt when they
yeah,
were
yeah,
even
yeah,
calling. They
yeah,
were
yeah.
indebted. But you said you used a
Yeah,
particular word that I like. You said you immersed yourself in reading. So I want to
merge.
zero in on that. Now, so what
Correct,
books,
correct.
what video, was there a specific book, specific video, or specific podcast that ignited something in you, and why? And tell us that book.
Man, there was tons, but if I want to go back to it into an order, I remember the first book I read, which really changed my perspective about life and how I think. It was Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Yeah, Robert
because it was the
Kiyosaki.
first time, yeah, it
Yeah,
was the first time where I learned like what's the difference between an asset and liability.
liability. Yeah.
Because most of my life I used to make money, but I used to spend all of this money. Then I used to work like a donkey to make the money again. Then I
Mm,
used to spend it. So I've never knew the power of investing or putting your money into work, and
mm,
so they can come back with more money.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the first book, which was for me, it was super like eye-opener. I'm like, oh wow, that's the mistake I've been doing all of my life. Okay. Then I went to a book called The ABC of Sales. And it was a very old book. I think it's from the 70s, if not the 80s, something like that. But it
Mm,
was also something really like I learned how to manage my life. I learned how to manage lots of stuff and how to get organized, how to utilize your time. And then I was like, okay, so today I have 24 hours. Most I can sleep is 8. I will
that's
not
right.
allow myself to sleep more than 8.
Yes,
I still have 16 hours per day. How am I supposed to utilize it to the maximum in
that's
order
right.
for me to become super productive? So
That's
I
right.
learned how to do the balance between the work, and then after the work, what do you do? I'm always working. Like once I have my eyes open until I sleep, I'm working. But there's a
Mm,
difference between working directly with a client, and there's a difference between working on your mind and on your subconscious and how to feed it with a plan. So
yeah.
you have like the working with a potential, a prospect, client, whatever. And then you have the work that you work on yourself. Then you have a work where you need to have the inner peace in your body. And then you have the work that you put down in order for you to stay fit, which is working out. It
Yes.
can be going to a gym. It can be playing paddle. It can be, I don't know, playing soccer. But it doesn't matter. So I learned that in order for me to have a successful life, I need to have a successful mind,
Mm-hmm.
I need to have a successful body, and I need to have a successful soul. And then I
Mm,
got to learn, and bit by bit, I did this my own, which I call it the Trinity of Success, which is nurturing the mind, body, and soul. It's also in chapter number 2 in the book. Like once you open the book, you will read
mm,
about the Trinity of Success. And I speak about it a lot. And once you learn how to align those, that's it. Nothing can stop you. So yeah, as you said back then, all of my friends used to call me, tell me we are in Bali or in Thailand or whatever in a place, having parties for a week or 10 days. I couldn't go. And between you and me, even if I had the money, I wouldn't go because I spent almost Okay, so when I went to Dubai, I was 30 years old. Let's say easy, I spent 15 years where I was literally doing the same by going out every day, partying, coming back and sunrise, sleeping till afternoon and just feeling demotivated, feeling useless, feeling emptiness, like there is no purpose of life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I was sick and tired of it. And when I went to Dubai and I started to get all of this beating, I said, I'm gonna do it differently. So this is why I really put myself into books. I'm like the most I can afford is books. And after I finished the first, I love the second, the third. And I ended up to be reading 4 books a month. And I still do it until date.
Hmm.
Until date, even though I'm extremely busy doing lots of stuff, I can tell you I read 2 to 3 books every month. There's no way I will not read 2 books a month.
Wow.
No way I will let this pass. Yeah. It's a way
Wow.
for me to kind of like spend time by myself, not in isolation, but in going into ideas. Because Paul, trust me, sometimes you read a book and it's all crap, you don't like it. Like it's super boring. But then maybe less page or less chapter, you will read one sentence
That's right.
that will give you an idea which will blow your mind. And this idea you can take it, develop it, and making it ending up to be a business or something that can help people. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, a
that's why I'm
lot.
telling you, like
Yeah.
reading for me, it, it's as important as oxygen, to be very honest.
That's very powerful. Very, 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 very
Yeah,
powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. So, but now knowing what you now know, if there's a real estate wannabe watching us right now, listen to the podcast right now, what book would you recommend that they read? Of course, they'll start
yeah.
with your book, Take Charge. They start with your book. What's the second book you would recommend for them to, start their
You
journey
know,
towards wealth creation?
the thing is like I read a lot. I can't just come up with one book, but I can tell you for a fact, like if you go to Grant Cardone, you will love the books,
Yeah, the
which is
10x.
the 10X. There's another book, I don't know if it was like either you close them or they close you
Close you.
or
Yeah,
something
that's
like that. I
very good.
cannot
Yeah,
really.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Grant
yeah.
is Grant's a beast.
Also Grant has yeah a few very nice books that I like a lot. You can check something called FU Money.
Yes. That is that
Okay.
not
Uh,
yeah, F human. I think I've
the,
seen
the the
that book.
guy from Singapore.
Yes, yes. It lives
Yeah,
in
it
Canada,
was
yeah.
also
Yeah.
good.
Mm.
Yeah, you can check books like I like the one for that Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator. What was it called?
Chris Voss. Chris
Uh,
Voss. His name is
yeah,
Chris
Chris
Voss.
Voss. Yeah, what
Yes.
was what? Yeah, the book. I forgot the name. It was like a yellow book, yellow
Yes,
cover.
yes, Chris Voss. It's about influence and
Something.
persuasion.
It's about negotiation, and also over
Split
there,
don't
there's a
split
lot.
never split the
Yeah,
difference.
never is the difference, correct. Never split the
Never split
difference.
the difference.
And
That's
he
the name of
talks
the book, yeah.
about, yeah, that what you when you're talking, like how much of your voice goes into like
Yes.
the
Yes.
tonality and how much goes into the body
Physiology,
language.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I picked a lot of stuff of this book, and there is tons. I tell you what, let me send you a picture of my library, and then you just pick whatever you want. But I
No,
have a lot. I have over
no problem.
300
That's
books.
that's very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's very cool. There's something you said, you when you came to Dubai in 2014, you said you were on Sheikh Zayed Road. And I love a line that you said. You said I felt the glory of the city. I like that line. You said it. You said I felt the glory of the city.
Yeah,
Wow. Like, so what was it about the city's
correct,
glory that
correct.
resonated with you? I thought that was very
Man,
poetic
like
when you said
you
I
cannot
felt the
explain it.
glory of the city. Like I'm gonna conquer this city.
Yeah,
I don't know
because
how
like you
long, but I'm
cannot.
gonna take.
Yeah. Like you cannot describe it. You can just feel it. So once I came in and I was looking at those mega buildings and how the roads were so clean and the infrastructure and the metro and everything looked, it's like wow, it's like it's out of this world. So really it made me feel the glory and I'm like, you know what? There's something about the city, there's a charm in it, it's extremely beautiful. opportunity. Like every building on Fair Zayed Road, we're talking it's worth, God knows, man, 500 million to billions. God knows what's the value of this building. So I'm like, you know what? Everything is in here. I got the feeling that, you know, I have to stay here. This is where I'm gonna make my life. This is where I'm gonna make my career. So I wanna make sure that I'm staying here and I'm giving my all to make it.
Mm.
Because end of the day, if I come pick you as a pawn and I go throw you in some mountain or somewhere in the middle of the ocean and say, make it, okay, you are very limited in the resources. When
Mm-hmm.
I was in Dubai in 2014, it was beautiful. It's nothing compared to what it is today, but still back then, you look at it, it was gorgeous. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do
Mm. 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 That was very, very powerful. You said
it. Yeah,
when a multi-millionaire, when a millionaire wants to buy a property, he may buy like two or three. See, but when a billionaire wants to buy property, he'll
yeah,
ask a different question. How can I leverage this? How can I use the same $1 million to buy 10 property, 15?
yeah.
So what? Tell me about the role that environment plays. The people that you hang around with. Because when you said when you started hanging around with billionaires, your thinking began to change.
Of course, they changed all of my perspective in life because again, when I started working, um, I used to have the same mindset that, for example, if we are selling an investor, we sell them either studios, one beds, two beds and three beds will be mainly for end user and it will not make money. So that was the mentality. And I used to sell it and I used to be stuck in it. And unfortunately, because that was my mindset, I used to attract this kind of clients, you know? And
Mm. I like what you said. Mm.
later on, when I started meeting big guys, I always felt like, what's the common between them? It's not about the volume of the property. It's always either they own floors or they own buildings. And I started asking them, like, instead of you putting all of your eggs in one basket, why don't you spread it all over the country? And they were like, Anthony, we know what you're saying, but in order for us to do negotiation and to break down that developer to get the best payment plan that we wish for, we have to do this. I'm like, tell me more about it. And they started explaining to me, okay, instead of them going and paying the amount 100%, they will go to a developer, tell him, okay, come over. I will pay you 20% right away on the floor. You give me all of the keys, and the remaining 80%, I will pay it on 5 years between me and you. There's no bank, no interest involved. And they started leasing the properties, making money, paying those post handover. So when you do the calculation, you will like, okay, this unit has actually costed me 40% from my own flash money,
Mm.
and that 60% I paid it from the tenants. And then I'm like, wow, like that's nuts. And just this is a floor. Imagine if you have 10 floors,
Mm.
50,
Mm.
100. And I
Mm.
started meeting people in that caliber and thinking and talking and understanding how money works and how money is done. And I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. And sometimes when I had a podcast like a month or two ago, and someone told me, "Oh, what's your advice on buying a studio?" I'm like, "Man, don't buy a studio." And everyone start talking, "Oh, Anthony, I know this, I
But
don't know
studio was
that.
your first apartment in
How you
Dubai.
say that? Yeah, yeah, I'm like, man, listen, a studio, if you want to invest in it and you want to make 10% capital gain, you're happy to do it. But if you're coming, you want to make 30, 40%, buddy, you're not going to make this from a studio. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, it changes everything. Even myself now, I don't buy studio. I don't even buy one bedroom. To be very honest, the minimum I buy is a two-bedroom, all the way up to 4 or 5 bedrooms villas. I can tell you that uh, all of my portfolio has done over 350% of appreciation because I've been buying in 2018 and 19, where most of the people were tripping and saying, oh no, Dubai is gone and the expo will not do anything, and they were trying to put us down and bash us. Now they're crying. Now they're begging us for units, and unfortunately, now the prices are extremely jumped that we were like, either you pay it on this price or you wait again.
Mm.
So this is what I'm telling you. It's all about your entourage and your surrounding. If I didn't surround myself with these kind of people, I wouldn't even change my
Think, yeah,
mentality.
yeah.
I wouldn't even change anything. I would have still been the same agent maybe who sells a studio and a one bedroom and stay with the client for 1 month, and feeling like always the client is right and I should accept everything. Now it's a total different ball game. Now
Mm.
I am the specialist. I am the guy with the knowledge. I am the person who will get you opportunity of the market. Even if you go to a developer and tell him I want this, they will tell you, excuse me, sir, we are out of stock. It's sold out. Yet if you come to me, I'm gonna find what exactly you want.
That's interesting. It's Anthony. Your first sale, your first commission was $600. Hello, can you hear me?
Was a rental, yeah, $600. Two bedroom rental, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
did you lose me?
Yes, I lost you for a second, but you're back. All right. So your
Okay.
first your first your first commission was $600. Am I right about that?
Yeah, yeah. It was a rental.
Yeah, it was a rental. So because in this podcast, I like to people to have certain tacticalities so that they can use it. So if you could cast your mind back now, what sales strategies do you think helped you close your first sale? Was it prospecting? Was it follow up? Was it handling of the objections very, very properly? Was it a YouTube video that you
Uh,
created that compelled the client to come to you? What exactly?
I think my first sale, I didn't have all of what you mentioned. I didn't know how to handle an obstacle. I didn't know how to create value or create the hype. I didn't know all of this. My first sale, it was actually someone that met me, liked me. He felt that I'm a good person and I'm gonna help them no matter what. And in a way, like this had them buy the property through me, and we're still friends till now, which is almost what,
That was very, very powerful.
7 years, 7 years and a half. We're still friends, we're still in touch. Yeah, and from all of his circle, it comes to me. Basically, listen, Paul, I've never hid my business. My business is online from 2014. Since I started, you can find everything about me. I didn't look the same as I look now. Everything changed, but still, I've never hid anything. And what I made sure people to understand that if I get info, I share it publicly. People
Mm.
tell me you're nuts, you shouldn't share this, you should utilize it. If you want to share this information, you should sell it. I'm like, no, I don't care. I will give anyone any information, even though that they are my competitors, they will never outwork me. I will give you the
Mm.
same tools, same everything that I have. You still lose comparing to me because I will outwork any human on the planet. If you work 24 hours, I will make sure I will work 25 hours. If you don't sleep for a day, I will not sleep for three. Trust me, there is no one as stubborn as me. And when I have a goal, I want to reach my goal no matter what.
Mm. Mm. This is a very powerful trait. Where do you think you got that trait from? Was it from your parents, your mom, your dad,
Tell
your
you what,
uncle?
like
Where do you think you got that trait
maybe,
from?
maybe, but I think actually I got it from the streets where I really went to Dubai. I didn't want
But
to
AJ,
move
you've
in
always been a
those
hustler, you know.
times. This is
You've
my
always been a hustler, you know. You said you used to
yeah,
travel
yeah,
to Turkey to buy
yeah,
clothes and sell in Lebanon. So you've always been a hustler.
of course. Yeah. I'll tell you when I discovered this. I think I discovered this back when I was in school because I was always kicked out. I couldn't ever listen to any professor or teacher or whatever they
Hmm.
were because I wasn't inspired by them. To be very honest, I always felt like these guys are here coming to do their job. You know that kids always wait for the bell so they can go out. I felt like the teachers used to wait for it before us. You know, they just coming here to do the work. They wouldn't, I
I never heard
swear,
about
they
it that
wouldn't like
way.
inspire. Yeah. So
Oh
I'm
my
like, fuck
goodness.
it. That's
It's
why
only it's not only the students that wait for the bell, the teachers also wait for the bell.
yeah, yeah. Just to run out.
Just to run out.
In university, I had the same. Yeah, in university, I had the same. Like when people used to come teach us business and they're looking like a homeless. I'm like, man, how can this guy teach me? How can I listen to him? Like, give me a
Hmm.
proof of concept. Give me proof of work. You know what I mean? So that's why I always felt like, no, it's not right. I
Oh my
started doing my
goodness.
own businesses. I started trading, as you said. I used to fly to Istanbul, get clothes, bring them to Lebanon. I used to buy and sell a lot. But yet, I always thought like there must be something bigger to life. So
Yeah.
in here in
Yeah.
Lebanon, I used to live an amazing life. Used to make $3,000, $4,000 a month, which is way more than enough for any person to be living like a king over here. But I felt like there must be something. This is why, you know what? Let me go discover. Maybe I can be a different person. Maybe I
Yeah.
am a different person.
We're
So
chasing
when
your
I went
your
and
hero's
did this,
journey.
yeah, this discovery journey, and then I started getting really molded, getting everything too tough. And then I'm like, okay, I passed this stage. Okay, now I don't have to worry about food. Now I have a home. Now I have a car. Then I'm like, okay, I'm still a tenant. Why shouldn't I become a landlord? Amazing. That was the target. I will become a landlord. So I used to sorry, save all of the money from I get from the commission and buy a house. And when I bought a house, I'm like, why buy one where I can buy five?
Come
Okay,
on,
I will
brother.
buy
Come
five.
on,
Then
brother.
I wrote down to myself, I swear. Then
Come
I'm
on,
like,
brother.
you know what? I wrote to myself a target and I wrote it in 2016. I remember. So I wrote a check from myself to myself. I
Myself. Come
put
on.
Anthony in my name. Yeah, I put 5 million dirhams as a value on it, and I dated it the 25th of May 2020, which was the date I will be turning 35. I put 5 million, which I smashed it way before reaching that date. And I'm like, you know what? While you're putting 5 million, why don't you put 50
Come
million? You
on,
might
brother.
think
Come
too
on,
low.
brother.
And I put it. And then later on during yeah. And later on during COVID, and I'm like, in COVID, I was losing my mind. I wrote a book, and I'm like, fuck, man, if I can write a book in a month, why cannot write 5 books? And now this year, I launched my second book, Take Action, which is already in the market. It's on Amazon. It just went out. And now I started writing my third book. And I'm like, you know what? Let me write a book every year. This is what I'm telling you. All of this stuff, I've
I like
never
this guy.
even thought of the
Oh my
possibility.
goodness. I like this guy
Yeah,
already.
but then it came, and I'm like, okay, why I wanna make one? Go more, go more, go more. Scale,
Beautiful.
10x, 100x. And now everyone looks at me and my circle, and they're like, okay, how far do you wanna go? I'm like, guys,
Wow, guys,
so, so you know what I mean? So since
so
nothing
much.
was a possibility and everything happened and happened amazingly, I'm here. Can you hear?
Yeah, I just want to say something quickly to my audience, people that are watching this. I'm gonna watch this on YouTube, so we're gonna continue this conversation. But before we continue, we just want to talk about VPay. VPay is powering this episode of the Paul Fo podcast. They are a fintech bank based in Nigeria that do billions and billions and billions in transactions. They help you transfer your money easily for your business. You want to open a VPay account, you click on the link in the show notes underneath this video on YouTube. On YouTube with my link, with Paul Fo link, and then they'll serve you very, very well. Now let's get back to the fascinating conversation with the great man AJ. What's up? Yeah. So AJ, there's
Yeah,
something about you that I like so much. You give You are internally driven, not externally driven. You have inner motivation, not external motivation. You have past external motivation. Let me explain why. You said, why write one book when I can write 2 books? You're not competing with anybody. Why make 5 million when I can make much more than that? You're not competing with anybody. So your drive is internal. Your competition is an inner
Oh, yeah,
competition.
absolutely.
And I thought that was really, really powerful. Very,
Yeah.
very, very powerful. Very, very, very
And
powerful.
listen, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's not like when I say I'm not in competition with anyone because I don't see or respect anyone. No, I see everyone and I respect everyone's hustle, the
Hmm.
way they're hustling, the way they're showing up. Now, regardless if they are performing or the work is shit, that's a total different topic. However, the fact that people are still showing up every day, putting down the effort, hustling, I respect this a lot.
That's
But
powerful.
end of the day, why do I need to have a competitor as another human being and saying, okay, he's my competitor, and once I'm gonna do better than him, I want what? Actually,
Hmm.
I want what?
Hmm.
Some will come after me that will be stronger,
That's right.
wiser than
That's
me.
right. That's right.
And some will come. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like a world of sharks. You know what I mean? If you want to put 2 sharks in one pond so they can kill each other, what for? For me, to be very honest, I don't compete. Most of the time, I collaborate. And that's
Beautiful.
something smart to do. I
That's
think the competition happens in the it's not, how do you call it? Like in the lowest form or in just like in the pond, you know what I mean? That's where competition happen because they're trying to kill each other to eat.
yeah.
While once you are there and you see 2 giants, so it's like instead of us killing each other, why don't we collaborate and make something successful? And you see it today. You see it from the biggest brands on the planet. You see it
Yes.
from Gucci, Adidas,
Yes.
Balenciaga, and whoever. So you see, like the big boys, they're not competing;
Yeah,
they're collaborating.
collaborating. That's fine. That's fine. AJ, how do you
Yes,
train? How do you train yourself? Because I'm a sales trainer, right? I do sales trainings. That's my main work for
yeah,
organizations, right?
yeah.
And
How do I train myself?
and I know. I mean, how do you train your team as well? How do you train your team as well? People that work with
Yeah,
you. Yeah. How do you train them?
uh,
And why
I,
is that
I'll
important
tell
that they're
you what.
constantly trained?
No, training is something extremely important. It's same like athletes. Like if they don't go to training, they will lose momentum. Their
Yeah.
body will be different. They
Yeah.
will lose their game.
Yeah.
It's the same in here. Also in here, it's a stronger and bigger game than sports, the corporate life that we live in, because it's not only you are competing with the different company. You are competing with your colleagues on that seat who
That's right.
deserves it more.
That's right.
You
That's right.
are competing with the market. You are
That's right.
competing with clients. You are competing with the client's friend
That's right.
that they have no idea about the industry. They just want to give stupid advices to screw up your deal. So what I'm saying in here, training is like, first of all, you have to be people's person. You need to know, like, if you're speaking to Anthony, is he a left brain? Is he a right brain? Shall I lay low? Shall I be aggressive? When shall I do a move? When shall I be more of a statistic person? So always we teach and train people to understand the human brain. How does it work?
Mm-hmm.
And now I have people that they picked it up so good they can tell you immediately from the first 2 minutes. This guy is a left brain. This guy is a right brain. You know what I
Fantastic.
mean? Once they
Fantastic.
learn how to speak to people, now we need to do a proper qualification without us being annoying. For example, as an annoying question when someone speaks to Paul and tell you, Paul, what's your budget? Fuck, man. You know how much I hate this question.
Mm.
What's my budget? I don't have a budget. Give me something I like. I'm gonna buy it, whether it's 100,000, half a million, or a bill, or a two. So we teach them how to take that information for the qualification, but to do it in a way where you are having a nice conversation and not making this person feel that they are under investigation or interrogation, you know what I mean? Sitting down, oh yeah, what have you seen so far? Oh, okay, what's your budget? Oh, you want three
I
beds?
like that.
So
I like
there's a
that.
way of speaking.
I
Yeah.
like that. I
So
like
you know
that.
what I mean? So we teach them how to do it. We teach them how to understand the family situation, and most importantly, which I teach everyone, that the sales, it's emotional roller coaster experience. So when you're talking to this someone and you're feeding his brains and you're feeding his heart, you get the sales done. So how do you
Mm.
feed the brains? You feed the brains by giving them the credibility, the stuff that makes them safe in the city, by telling them this property that you're buying, it's a freehold. You will own it your lifetime. You can register it into court. You can pass it to your kids. It has a gym and a pool that you yourself, the family, and the
And
visitors will
swim,
be
yeah.
having multiple
Yeah.
access it. Yeah. And then when I know that he has kids and his son plays football, I'm like, amazing. There's just a football
So you're
soccer
building
match there.
rapport, serious
So
rapport there.
yeah. So when this person is like, I like everything I hear, I like everything I see, and I can visualize my kids growing up in this house, having the best memory. My wife will be happy. I'm gonna feel that I'm an amazing father, giving all of this lifestyle to my kids. Absolutely, he will buy it, man. Even if he doesn't have the money, he will come up with the money. He will borrow it.
Fantastic.
But if you come to this guy, take this property, you're gonna make this, you're gonna make that. You just have this boring sales typical conversation. People will say, screw it, that's another
Another
annoying
salesman.
salesperson.
This
Yeah,
guy is
and that's
good,
the
man. Well
difference.
done. Well, this is so powerful. For those of you who are listening right now,
That's the difference,
I'm
brother.
just
Yeah.
trying to do that off the top of my head. So instead of you like Anthony's teaching, instead of you to ask the client what's your budget, you can even go something like, let's say we want to do studio. Our studio in Festival City is between 500,000 dirham to 400,000 dirham. Our studio in Sheikh Zayed is between 1 million to 1.5 million. And our
Where do
studio
you see yourself?
where do you
You
see yourself
fit
in
in.
any of this?
Yes,
So that's the bucketing
yes,
approach
yes.
of selling. So guys, we just gave you guys a free masterclass on sales here, man. This is powerful. This is powerful. Wow. And Mr. Anthony, as we begin to
Yeah,
wrap this up, this is such a powerful conversation. As we begin to wrap this up, what role does family and your compelling reason, your why, what role does that play in balancing you and chasing
everything.
your dreams? Yeah.
I tell you what, the amount of commissions that we make in our life is ridiculous. I tell people as brokerage, we make more than mafia, maybe, or we make more than government. To be very
Yes.
honest, we make crazy amount. So if someone being single in their life and they don't have like this
Somebody to share their lives with. Yeah.
belonging or the family feeling, yeah, you can lose your mind. You can make this much money. You can go travel. God forbid, get yourself into situations where you cannot get out of it. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens. But once you have a family, you have a goal. You want to make sure that your wife, your
Your
family, your
children. Yeah.
parents, your
Yeah.
brother, everyone around you are having this great life. Then
Yes.
you take this money and you invest it in a way where it's fruitful for everyone.
That's
But
right.
if you live lonely and you don't have this feeling, you just take the money, you will go spend it, I don't know, maybe on gambling or on drinking or whatever. I don't want to give an example, I'm not pointing finger, but I'm saying having a family, it's as important as oxygen because it will keep you focused on the lane. You will know that all of that stupid stuff means nothing.
That's
You
right.
can go party for the rest of your life, but you don't have someone to go back to, or you can have someone to have your back, and you can party together to celebrate a life that you
Yes.
are happy with, and you are not just drinking to forget where you are. So that's the
Mm.
difference. That's the
Wow,
difference.
this
I
is
think that's
very,
the,
very
yeah.
powerful. I mean, I take that. I've been married for 16 years. I've been married for 16 years with 3 children. All right.
God
So,
bless. God bless.
so,
Wow.
so I fully relate to that experience of
Yeah, I
having
mean,
a
now you work
family.
for your kids, man. Even
Yeah.
when you see that money coming, you don't think about yourself. You are
Yes.
like, my boy wants this, another one
Yeah.
wants this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me have it for them, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
it gives you, when you give them it gives you way more fulfilling
That's right.
feeling
That's
than
right.
getting the money. You know what I mean? Like when you look at your son and say, Dad, I'm gonna be studying a lot. I'm gonna merit you this because you deserve it. So once you give them and you see that smile on the face,
It's a
brother, there's
joy.
no billion or $1 trillion in the world that will
Yeah.
give you the same feeling. You know,
This.
or once your mother will tell you, you know what, I always knew that you had it. I'm very proud of you. Man, that's
Wow.
priceless. That's priceless. It
Very
gives you
good.
goosebumps. That's
I
priceless.
tell you,
So that's
bro.
what I'm saying. In life, you make money, but you will learn that the beautiful part is not making the money, it's like how to give the money. And
Yeah.
that's the most important
Yeah.
stuff ever.
This is
Yeah.
so powerful. Yeah. This is so powerful. Like we say in Dubai, yalla.
Yeah.
Wow. Mr. AJ, I want to say thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank
I,
you,
I
Paul.
hope you
Thank you for
enjoyed the
having me.
conversation. I hope you enjoyed this
Yes,
conversation.
I like it a lot. Of course. Thanks a lot for having me. It's such a pleasure to be with you. And I wish you the best of luck on your podcast.
Thank you. So I always ask my guests one more question. I said,
Yeah.
if you were going to recommend or refer someone to this podcast and if you truly enjoyed it, who would you refer? Say, you got to talk to Paul on this podcast. He asked good question.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll give you five names. They are all doing amazing in life, but each one is doing it into a different sector.
Good.
I'm not gonna give you the names publicly on it. Maybe they don't like me to share it.
Okay.
However, I'm gonna text it to you.
Okay.
And just once you reach out to them, say I got your contact from Anthony.
All
And
right.
rest
So
is history.
when we stop the recording, we'll chat a little bit. All right. So guys, I want to say thank you, Anthony, for coming on the podcast. Drop a review on Apple, Spotify, everywhere you're listening to the podcast. Follow Anthony. Anthony, where can they follow you the most on social media?
I am on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't know. I'm everywhere except
It's everywhere. And
maybe
I'm gonna put
Snapchat. Yeah.
I'm gonna put a link to his book in the show notes in the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash the subscribe button. Subscribe to Anthony's YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is like an education, really. It's like a school. It's like a school. Trust me, I'm not saying it because it's here. It's like a school.
Yeah.
It's like a
And
school.
by the way, Paul, for all of your listeners, I'm not charging money for the content I'm giving. So they can log in, subscribe to my course. It's free. They will get pre-recorded 50 videos. They can go through all of the course.
Wow.
This is enough for anyone to just join the real estate. My book, Take Action, is really advanced into the sales technique, how to do the time management, how to find the client, follow the cheese, how to get the big clients, how to do all. My book, Take Action, is properly about someone not being only a salesperson, but to creating your own company that comes from the legalities, from the company formation, from the CFO services, like this stuff. You will pay for it maybe $500,000 in university to learn it. I'm telling you, all of this is only in one book that you can read in 5, 6 hours, get everything in it. And just, I wish everyone to be making it. Life is too short. Don't spend it on just envying and hating people online. Utilize this time, see what these guys are doing and become better than them. Everyone has the opportunity in this life to make it. So make sure that you utilize this gift that called life to do something beautiful out of it.
Oh, wow. This is a great place to say. We'll stop the recording and then we'll chat a little bit.